I'm going to talk you through how to make a paper poinsettia for Christmas. You'll need 2 large and 2 small of these petal templates and a wire with a little curve at the top. And you'll need something with a soft surface. I'm going to use this dry, unused sponge, but around the house you might want to use something like a towel or a cushion or even your leg, something with a soft surface so that when you press down it'll give the petals a nice curve. I'm going to take the small petal first and I'm going to try find something with a blunt edge, so you could use maybe a key, or around the house you might even have a paper clip, but actually a bank card is the best thing to use for this. So I'm using a blank plastic card, which would ultimately be a bank card or credit card around the house. What you want to do here is place the edge of the card along the middle of the petal and then just free style press down the edge and curl it up so that you achieve this little bend in the middle of the petal. Do that throughout each 5 of this template, and what I'm doing here is I am placing the card in the centre and just gently pushing down to create this little score in the middle, and as it's doing that it's naturally curling the petals around the side. Try not to press too hard because you might break it. If you do break it, you'll just have to glue it on when we come to the gluing stage, so don't worry about it. But I'm basically doing the same for each of the petals on each of the templates, and every time I do it I'll get a different technique. I really find the sponge is the best to achieve this look, but of course, like I mentioned, you can use another soft surface around the house. I am just straightening these petals out a wee bit. They curled up a bit too tight for me. That means I pressed down too hard. So you can flatten them out a wee bit. Now it stages here, this one's pinging off the sponge, which is totally fine. Don't panic about trying to get a straight line. Mine is actually starting to go off centre at some points. This one here went off the side a little to the right, but no drama. The overall effect will still look great. So I'm really not pressing too hard. I'm just creating this curl and I'm letting the flower almost lift itself off so that it will crease naturally. And I'm just about finished here. So now we're time to assemble, so I can get rid of these. And I'm going to talk about glue next. I use a hot glue gun, and this one here is actually a bit rubbish, but you can also just use normal glue. You could potentially as well just use a Pritt stick to glue them together. And then you take your wire with a little curve at the end, and that's to stop your petal from popping off the wire altogether. Feed the wire through the little pre-made hole, and then I'm just putting a little dot of glue on here so that it will stay in place. We're going to come back to this point to put the little beads on later, but it's just a little bit of glue just so that the petals will hold in place and it shouldn't go anywhere. Once I've done that, I'm going to feed in the second small petal, and what you'll see me do here is take the glue gun, glue the back of the one we've just placed on, and once I've done that I'm going to put the second layer at an alternative angle so that it's not directly behind the petals from the first layer. So you want them to sit like that. See how you can now see all 10 petals? They don't sit directly behind in the same position as the first layer. And hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. So that's the next layer is a larger one, and it's the same idea, putting a dot of glue. Now it should actually, because this is the third layer, it will sit the exact same angle as your top one, so see that? And when you put the last layer on, it just comes to life. I love this part. Same idea, it's just a tiny dot of glue. Don't worry about placing too much glue on, it's just to hold it in place. Here comes the last one. And the great thing about these paper flowers is they will always look different. How gorgeous does that look? Now I'm going to take this little disc that I've given you, and the purpose of this is just to keep all of the petals in place, because over time when you reuse them year after year they might want to move positions. So if you have this little disc place in the back, then all of the petals should stay exactly where they are. There we go. Now, to finish this particular flower off, we are going to use the little petals that I've given you. So for each flower, there should be 3 petals, and this is probably a wee fidgety part, so be careful if you do use hot glue. These are the petals. If you use hot glue, please be careful. What I'm going to do here is put a dollop around the wire. Basically, I'm going to try and disguise the wire now. So I'm putting a dollop of glue, and while it's still hot, I'm going to take the 3 beads and place them inside. There we go. This is where I'm grateful for having long nails. So I'm just trying to move fast because the glue does dry quite quickly. So here you can see me giving them a wee squeeze to try and take advantage of the glue while it's still a bit warm. It's starting to cool down quite fast, but I'm just giving them a little squeeze so they'll stay in place, and there we go. That is your paper poinsettia ready to decorate your tree or any place around the home. Let me just show you as well, because it's on this little wire, floristry wire. You can bend it so that can hook round a branch in your tree or a garland, or you can make your own wreath, or you can straighten it out and put it into a little vase, make your own home decorations. But there we go, an everlasting paper poinsettia.